Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Landis. So happy to be here with everyone in circle in this virtual way. And welcome to a lesson that is focused on gates as in portals. And before we dive into our lesson, as us, as me, part of Art Matters team, we're a group of teaching artists based here on Tiwa lands, also known as Albuquerque. And before we begin, we always want to honor the land that we're on, the sacred Tiwa land that we are on. And at the same time, be able to honor the ancestral homelands of the Navajo Nation and the 20 pueblos, the three Apache nations, and the Ute tribe. So thank you for taking a moment to honor the peoples that we are sharing space with here. And as we go forth, wanting to also share our alignments or our agreements. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and read those together here with us. So here we go. Art matters. So as we prepare ourselves to make some arte together individually, if you're on your own or if you're with a group of folks, we would like you to consider some of our alignments or agreements. And one is everyone has a voice. So making space for all respectful questions, concerns, ideas, and learning from each other. Next is respect, coming from respect for yourself, each other, tools and materials, the ideas, the environment. And this thing is like throw glitter, not shade. So throw some of that glittery love on each other. Next is process. So engage in your process, in the collective process, and hold space for joy. Have fun today with us. And next is be an artist and a maker. So take those creative risks, try something new, create. And lastly is lift each other and share. So really ask questions, listen, give thoughtful, productive feedback, collaborate, move up and move up, which is if you're sharing space together and folks want to perhaps add a little courage to your energy to share your work with each other because it is vulnerable, and we always want to encourage folks to move up and up to share. So thank you for taking that moment. And so now we're going to move into our lesson. And before we do that, wanting to also first show you what our materials are. So as I name these materials, then we'll pause the video, or you can pause the video and take time to grab them. So the materials that we're going to be using today, they're paper. This is multi-use paper. And then also some color pencils, regular pencil, and a Sharpie. So if you could take a moment, grab these materials, you can pause the video if you'd like, and then let's come back. Welcome back. So we're gonna start off with the warm up, and really as you create, make sure you have enough space where you are, and as we go into this warm up, it's really thinking of just really pencils, sketching, and thinking of this idea of gates and portals. What kind of gate have you entered before? And we're going to start off with some sketching, and then I'm going to show you an example of a sculpture piece at the Albuquerque Museum. So here we go with the warm up. I've already started, if you could see it here. And really taking your piece of paper, and these are somewhat different examples of doors or gates. Perhaps it's double, perhaps it's one. And let's just do this for a minute together and start. So you want to just kind of play around with different shapes, different heights, perhaps adding some squiggly. And even as you warm up, this is a good time to take some breaths, ground yourself, thinking of how fun it is sometimes to enter into a gate that sometimes we don't know where it leads us to. And perhaps it has a different height and it requires you to bend down. Just kind of playing, we're just warming up our imagination, warming up and if you run out of space, you could just flip it right over and continue. And remember playing with even the top of this portal, this gate, these different entrances. All right. So we're kind of getting to a close on our warm up, and I'm excited to see perhaps what you've created. So go ahead and take a moment, pause the video and share your work. I'll share some that I've made. Messing with the top here. Well, I'm going to take a moment to show you an example of a sculpture piece at the Albuquerque Museum. So let's see, let me share the screen here. Sorry. So here we go. So this piece that I'm going to share is made by an artist back in, he was born in 1955. His name's John Sepman. And this is called The Gate. So he titled this Gate. And when I saw it, it really made me think of portals. So thinking of a portal as in a place where it either requires imagination or it takes you into the future or it takes you into the past. It takes you into a creative place. And seeing these details on this, in this portal or this gate, we'll notice some of the plane of height here and the different details and the squigglies and the shapes within each space that is this steel frame gate. So as we kind of notice, just wanting folks to notice the dimensions, the different details. And also, if you haven't been to the Albuquerque Museum, this leads you into the sculpture garden. So I would highly suggest you go visit and check this sculpture out in person. And this artist specializes in metal artworks and thinking of the different shapes and textures that are joined together in this gate. And so as we thinking of our next piece, our next project right now is being inspired by this, being inspired by the heights, the shapes, and wanting us to dive into creating a piece that is also perhaps of your liking, of your imagination, and what kind of portal, what kind of place do you want us to enter through this gate or this portal? So I'm going to stop sharing here, stop sharing my screen, and go back to our next project piece. So we're going to stick with paper, the same size paper. And this time we'll start off with our pencil and we'll be using the color pencils and the Sharpie in a bit. So go ahead and take a moment if you want to pause and grab another piece of paper. Welcome back. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start sketching a portal. I'm gonna show you a sneak peek of mine, and it's still a work in progress as we work together. And so I kind of went off a little bit of, what got inspired in seeing that piece by John Sutton. And then I started imagining the different colors. What kind of colors do I want to bring in? What kind of colors are inviting in this portal that I'm creating? So I encourage you to also consider that. And perhaps through the piece of warm up that you have, maybe there's one that inspires you that you want to continue from. So thinking of your other warm up piece, you can choose something from here or make something different. And let's have some fun and really thinking of these different height and texture and even the handles. So let's go ahead and do some sketching. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of mine. And I'm gonna go ahead and play some music also just to encourage us and invite us to some creative time. So as you're sketching with your pencil, I'm gonna kind of go over my lines and thinking of, the playing with that different height. And also, perhaps going back into your own experience of where certain gates have had you go to, where certain places that you've been through when walking through a gate. I'm calling them portals because it could just take us to so many different places in our imaginative mind. And in these, another question to consider is in these imaginative places, what are the colors, the vibrancy, the nature that you see? So as soon as you're done sketching with the pencil, we're gonna go ahead and start outlining with your Sharpie. So we'll do that together. Oops. Taking time with your outline. And it's okay if you don't go right over the pencil, you could erase that later. Just doing a little bit of that outlining all around your shapes. And feel free to pause the video if you'd like as you're working on your piece. Or perhaps play a song that you like and that inspires you in this moment. Okay. So next, after outlining, I kind of added a little bit of space here, giving it somewhat of a dimension. As if you're seeing it from the side or walking into the space. So then, you'll take your pencil and erase some of those lines right over your permanent marker or Sharpie, kind of cleaning it up a little bit. Perfect. And as you can see, this part I had already colored and thinking of the sunset, thinking of Pachamama, thinking of the earth, some green. And, I'm always reaching for the sky, reaching for vastness. So that's why I chose blue. And And then thinking of the red, thinking of heart center coming into the center, and yellow for sunshine. So, as you choose the colors that you're going to begin to fill in your portal, your gate, perhaps thinking what colors inspire this entrance. And we're going to go ahead and bring in some color now. If you want to do a different color on each one, that's great too. I'm choosing some brown, thinking of the earth. And always encourage, as you're coloring, taking in those breaths and seeing how even taking this moment to make some art together can ground us, can shift our day. And that's what we hope for you during this time as well. So if you'd like to pause the video as you continue coloring, go ahead. Let's just listen to the music and do it together. So if you do a second layer, of course, you can make it a little bit darker, thinking of even the directions of the coloring also makes a difference. And if you have a white color pencil, you can also bring that in. For example, I'm gonna do this one here, all white inside, and then you'll see how it kind of changes a little bit of the, and even if you wanna do swirls inside with the white, so once you color it over, that should pop out a little bit. So I'm bringing in this green, then you'll start seeing a little bit of detail in there. Depending how firm you go in. I'll show this right now. Start noticing a little bit more detail of what the white color pencil gives. So we want to continue that in the others. Please do some swirlies. I hope that during this time, as you're thinking of portals and the places that it's taking you, that it's also inspiring of what are the places that you want to go visit. And perhaps some nature time, taking ourselves to these places. All right, so we're getting to a place of, finishing up the coloring, giving it some life. I added a little tree here to the side, just did somewhat of a silhouette tree that I kind of want to leave it like this, but if you want to put some flowers or any other design on the side, please, I encourage that. And I titled this El Portal, or the portal. So I'm gonna go ahead and also outline that. So if you want to also name it El Portal, or perhaps you're thinking of a different title for yours, thinking of a place that you just had yourself travel to, please erase some of the pencil markings. Perfect. And there we have it. Thank you for making this arte time together. Go ahead and take a moment to share your work, and also take a moment to save your work. If you're wanting to save it or gift it to someone, and at the same time be able to thank your materials. I always love thanking these materials that we have, our colored pencils, our Sharpies, our paper, and our bodies, our hands. So to close off, encourage a nice deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Thank you for participating. Till next